the National Disability Insurance Scheme, also known as the NDIS. The NDIS is an incredible initiative and also an eye-catching investment opportunity. It is supporting a better life for hundreds of thousands of Australians with a significant and permanent disability, including their families and carers. It also reduces the number of younger adults having to go into some form of aged care. Having NDIS will offer many people the independence and privacy they deserve. NDIS is also creating many jobs within the building industry and offers many investors the opportunity also to purchase a long-term investment. It's believed that there are over 4 million Australians who have a disability. Within the next 5 years, the NDIS scheme will provide more than $22 billion in funding a year to an estimated 500,000 Australians who have a permanent or significant disability. In this podcast, we'd like to discuss some opportunities where what are the investment benefits for property investors. Buying property has been among the most successful investment strategy available. NDIS offers investors an opportunity to diversify the investment strategy through purchasing a higher yield asset. Here are some of the most notable benefits. The Specialist Disability Accommodation, known as SDA, has an increasing demand as the population continues to also climb. It's anticipated that there may be up to 60% of a shortfall in available properties for this sector. Government support. The Australian government has publicly announced that their long-term pledge of guaranteeing a continuation of the scheme for the next 20 years. The federal government is essentially funding property investors where the renters have been qualified and meet the requirements in place. Income security. Rental returns are currently backed by federal government. High rental yields. These assets offer well above average rental yields seen in both residential and commercial property investment. Positive cash flow. Especially while interest rates remain at an all-time record low, the positive cash flow coming from an asset of an NDIS can be quite extraordinary. Capital growth. With all property investment, there is always potential capital appreciation. Long-term is always needed when anticipating capital growth. Tax deductions. There are many tax benefits when owning an investment property. Property outgoings, maintenance and tax depreciation are among potential entitlements that increase your rate of return on investment. The gross rental yields is the most commonly favoured attraction to investing in SDA. Rental yields have ranged between 7% to even up to 18%, depending on the type of property, the location, design criteria category, and the number of renters in each property. However, what are the risks in investing in buying SDA? First up, concentration limits. By design, there are restrictions on the number of properties that can be registered within a particular area or location. Before proceeding with the purchase of SDA through NDIS, you want to ensure you are aware with what has been approved at current or at present. Vacancy rates. In the current market, there appears to be a significant shortfall of SDA properties available, so vacancy rates are less of a risk compared to normal residential property investment. However, the NDIS system does not guarantee a rental return if you lose a renter or help source a renter for you. To mitigate this risk, many rental providers are establishing a 5x5 lease contract, as many renters will aim to occupy the home long term. Finding a renter is another issue. Once you have one, the federal government funding program will offer property investors a lucrative investment return. It is essential that you partner with the right people who will mitigate the vacancy rates, particularly when the lease expires. On losing a tenant, your investment is covered for up to 90 days under federal law with a continuity of payment between rental agreements. Please note this is not applicable for new registered SDA property when sourcing your first renter. Another risk, compliance and registration. In order to benefit from the NDIS scheme, you will need to meet a number of regulatory requirements to benefit from the federal government's funding program. You don't want to end up with a property that is not compliant in design or built against the necessary standards. Working with a buyer's advocate and an experienced builder will mitigate this risk. Trying to do this form of investment autonomously can create big problems for you. The build costs are more expensive, so you want to make sure you know exactly what you're doing. Change in SDA payments. The NDIS system assesses the SDA payments based on a number of requirements, including the property type, location, and the number of renters, just to name a few examples. There is a risk that the SDA payments can change in both the amount offered and the frequency of payments received. Although the National Disability Association have committed to pay new properties for 20 years, the payment scheme will be reviewed every 5 years. So there's obviously still a risk when it comes to SDA payments. In summary, investing in SDA can represent some exciting investment returns. Like any investment strategy, there are advantages and disadvantages to review in advance. It is recommended that you seek advice from a financial planner who can help develop a cash flow budget to ensure you can afford the purchase and the ongoing costs in case you lose that rental return. A mortgage broker is also a trusted advisor who can help assist in applying for the right finance and help you understand your overall borrowing commitments. At Crest Property Investments, we're excited by the initiative and see some great value. We have access to some excellent SDA properties in a variety of locations and would welcome the opportunity to help educate and support you throughout the purchase. Please feel free to contact us if you'd like to learn more about NDS or investing in traditional residential investment. We specialise in sourcing both brand new and off-the-plan properties for buyers. If you'd like to learn more about our service, please feel free to visit our website at www.crestproperty.net.au. Thanks for listening.